What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and today, guys, we are back with a brand new top 10 for you guys, and that is the top 10 deadliest creatures in Ark. Now, guys, for this list, we're comprising creatures that are able to incapacitate you, kill you, and just are generally a pain in the ass that you will encounter throughout your travels on Ark. So, guys, without further ado, let's jump straight into the list and let me know what you guys think at the end. Now, coming in at number 10, we have the TUSOTEUTHIS. Now, the TUSOTEUTHIS is at number 10 because it's very selectively found at the bottom of oceans. Now, this guy is found on almost every map. So it's found on the island, the center, Ragnarok, Valgyro, Genesis Part 1, Crystal Isles, as well as Genesis Part 2. And these guys are terrifying. Not only do they have the ability to grab you, incapacitate you, and then murder you, they are found in droves underwater. As well as that, they also have an alpha variant, which is even stronger than the normal variant. So you can definitely be very threatened by these guys. However, they are at number 10 because you will need to dive pretty damn deep into the ocean to actually find these guys. So in hindsight, they aren't all that threatening, which is why they obviously take the number 10 spot. But if you do manage to tame one of these guys up, all you need to do is grab a tame such as a Carbonemus or a Sarco or a Baryonyx, anything really that the Tuso can grab. Have a bunch of black pearls in your last slot. Let the TUSOTEUTHIS grab your creature, jump off your creature, and then swim up to the Tuso's mouth and feed it the black pearls, and that will grant you your own TUSOTEUTHIS. Once you've then got your TUSOTEUTHIS tamed up, you'll then be able to pretty much deal with anything underwater. Alpha Moses, any other Alpha Tusos, anything like that, you will be able to deal with without an issue. They have a grab attack. They are able to squirt out ink behind them, which gives you the chance to run, and they also passively produce oil over time. Now, coming in at number 9, we have the MEGALOSAURUS. Now, once again, a very selective creature that you can actively avoid. However, the MEGALOSAURUS is a massive threat to players and flyers alike. As you can see here, it has the ability to pick up parasaurs as well as survivors and other flyers. So if you're ever flying around a MEGALOSAURUS with a Pteranodon or an Argy, you better watch out because this guy can grab you and will consume you. Now, like I said, you can actively avoid these guys because majority of the time they are found in caves. However, on some maps, they do spawn out in the open, like on Ragnarok, in which case they spawn out in Viking Bay. Now, you can find the Megalosauruses on the island, the center, Scorched Earth, Ragnarok, Extinction, the Crystal Isles, and of course, Aberration, which is where they are most renowned for due to the fact that they are one of the best dinos that you can use to take out Rockwell. They pack a massive punch when it comes to nighttime, and luckily for Aberration, it is always nighttime over there. These guys are pretty much able to destroy Rexes and Spinos. Heck, you could probably even go toe-to-toe with a bunch of Gigas if you had a bunch of these guys in your entourage. So, guys, the Megalosaurus comes in at number 9. Now, guys, coming in at number 8, we have the DEINONYCHUS. Now, once again, these guys are higher because they are found in very select situations. In their case, they are exclusively found on Valgyro. However, on Valgyro, they pose a massive threat to whoever decides to come up to them and get a little bit too close for comfort. You can see here that they do apply a bleeding effect where you lose 1% of your health over time. Now, that stacks for 10 seconds, and you can see here that we are continuously getting this debuff applied to us. So these guys are extremely good at taking out large dinosaurs and large prey, as well as other survivors, which is obviously what you're going to need to watch out for, and your tames, because these guys will shred them a new butthole. Trust me, it has happened to me plenty of times before. However, in order to tame these guys up, you will need to steal eggs from their nest, which once again are actively found on Valgyro. You can then hatch and raise your own DEINONYCHUS, and these guys are well worth the raise because you can easily use these guys to take out even the bosses on Ark, as well as other large carnivores and even large theropods. You can even latch onto Argy flyers. So you definitely need to tame one of these guys up, but these guys are definitely one of the deadliest creatures in all of Ark. Now, guys, coming in at number 7, we have the direwolves. Now, these guys are found on every map except for Aberration, which is a lot of maps. Now, these guys also do absurd amounts of damage, especially when in a pack. You can see here that one of them does receive a pack leader buff Generally, it is the highest level direwolf, and you can see there, even with our actual cheats on, we still got killed by the direwolves. So with direwolves, they'll generally aggro on you from quite a distance away as well, but you can bowl them to try and escape from them. However, you will never find a direwolf on its own, unless of course like some other dude has come along with his Rex and decided to rip them all apart. These guys will always be found in packs, and when they're in their packs, that is their peak performance because they just deal so much damn damage. As well as that, you guys can see they do have a glowing effect on, which also amplifies the amount of damage that they do. Now, you obviously can tame these guys up and use those abilities for your own uses. If you do, I can guarantee you, you'll be dishing out so much damage, a Rex will look puny and weak in comparison. The only downside of taming these guys up is that they do not have access to a saddle, so they will take increased damage from pretty much all sources because they don't have that extra armor. Normally, they will also be found in the snow biomes, obviously barring Center and Genesis Part 2, because the direwolves are located on Genesis Part 2. Other than that, the direwolves are just a massive threat that you should typically avoid wherever you have the opportunity to, unless you're actively seeking out to tame or kill these guys. Now guys, coming in at number 6 is everyone's favorite stunner in the Redwoods and in the boss cave, the PURLOVIA. Now, these guys are higher on the list due to the fact that they incapacitate you for 10 whole seconds, which is absolutely nuts. Now, this will also apply if you are on a tame. They will knock you off the tame as well, and that can apply all the way up to Rexes, because in the island Ascension Cave, you'll find these guys dotted throughout the entirety of that section, and they have the capacity to knock you off your Rexes. They will incapacitate you for 10 seconds, meaning you will not be able to move. So if you've accidentally gone ahead and left your dinosaur on passive, and you get knocked off by a PURLOVIA by wandering through the Redwoods or anything like that, chances are you will die if you do not have a decent armor. Now, obviously I've got cheats on to prevent myself from dying here, but these guys are insanely deadly. As well as that, you will not be able to see them very well in the Redwoods because they do have a buried sort of effect, which you can see just here, unless of course I'm mistaking that for, nope, it's a PURLOVIA. So you can see there, you're stunned for 10 whole seconds, which is crazy because you're unable to move, unable to get on your dinosaurs. I don't even think you can actually whistle. You cannot whistle while you're also stunned as well. So these guys are extremely deadly. Now, these guys are found on the island, the Center, Scorched Earth, Ragnarok, Extinction, Valgiro, Genesis Part 1, Crystal Isles, Genesis Part 2, and Aberration. So you'll come across these guys on pretty much every single map. And you definitely want to be prepared for them. What you need to do is look out for those mounds of dirt that we highlighted earlier. That is your best chance of knowing there is a PURLOVIA there. But majority of the time, you won't be able to see them because they will be disguised in the bushes, or if you have your setting turned up for the ground quality, it'll actually be very hard to see them. You can tame these guys up and they can act as portable vaults, however, using trank methods and prime meat and mutton, and you can actually bury a whole bunch of loot on these guys and bury them underground, which will enable you to have a secret stash hidden from your enemies. So guys, the PURLOVIA comes in at number 6. Alrighty guys, now coming in at number 5, we have the THYLACOLEOs. Now these guys are inherently worse than the PURLOVIAs because they will sit on redwood trees, dive off and grapple you to the ground, and you will not be able to escape until you essentially kill them or they kill you. Now they will grab you off flyers and medium to large mounts as well, so you will need to be careful. Now I have tried getting one of these guys to grab me on single player, but unfortunately it seems to be bugged because when you leave render distance, they'll just like fall from the tree. So it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to show it. But if you guys have ever flown through the redwoods before, I am sure you will know what a THYLACOLEO grappling you off your flyer and then pinning you to the ground and consuming you looks like. These guys are no joke. Now, however, they will be exclusively found in the redwoods, barring Genesis Part 2, where they are found in the Highlandy area. And these guys will do a bleed effect as well to you that does 5% of your health over 10 seconds, which is pretty damn crazy if you ask me, because that's a recent buff that they received and they did not have that before. You can see there that we have received the debuff from them. We're going to pop that. And you can see there we do get nashed. So we're nashed and losing 5% of our health over time. These guys are very strong. They also have really high HP. So if you do get grappled by one of them, you will need to have some very strong weaponry in order to kill them, or very strong tames to deal with them. Now, as for the other maps that these guys are found on, they're found on the Island, the Center, Scorched Earth, Ragnarok, Extinction, Valgyro, and Crystal Isles. They are not found on Aberration, however, so do keep that in mind. But these guys are ferociously powerful. They are really good tames to get as well, though, so you should definitely invest in one if you want to go about doing it. They are standard knockout tames, and their preferred food is cooked mutton. So make sure you keep that in mind if you do want to go ahead and tame one of these guys up. But the THYLACOLEO comes in at number 5. Now guys, coming in at number 4, we have the Reaper. Now, the Reaper is found on Aberration as well as Genesis Part 2. And these guys are extremely strong when it comes to facing them in the wild. You will need a light shoulder pet in order to actually cause them to take damage. They will take damage without the light shoulder pet. However, the damage is so insignificant, it will not make a dent to their massive health pool. And if you do want to get impregnated by one of the Reaper Queens, you will need to whittle down her health utilizing a light pet and a very strong tame in order to get its health down. These guys are extremely dangerous. They are selectively found in specific areas though, so you can choose to avoid them if you want to. However, the fact that you will eventually want to come up and go face to face with one of these guys is what makes them one of the deadliest creatures in Ark, because you will eventually want to get impregnated by a Reaper Queen, which will enable you to get your very own Reaper King. So keep that in mind for when you guys go ahead and try to get your own ones. These guys are ferocious, they are dangerous, they have slows, they just deal a crap ton of damage to anything and everything, and they take a lot of reduced damage. So let's move on to number 3. Now guys, coming in at number 3, we have the MICRORAPTORs. Now these guys are a more portable, faster version of the PURLOVIA, and they will stun you off of your mount. You can see there our poor Pteranodon got knocked off, and then they will attack you. And the worst part is, once you wake up from your stun, they'll generally run away from you and then come back and strike again. Now, obviously they don't deal a lot of damage themselves, but normally they are found in quite a large flock of them. So they'll also, if one misses, you'll get ganged on by 2 other ones. As well as that, there's generally more ferocious dinos in the area that will actually finish you off from the MICRORAPTOR. And if you do decide to try and get back on your mount, they'll actually just go ahead and knock you off again. So there's no real good way to avoid a MICRORAPTOR except to fly all the way at the top of the skybox and just avoid them like that. Otherwise, you're going to be constantly bamboozled by these guys, and they will try to knock you off whatever it is that you're on. They don't specifically target flyers. They will target anything and everything they can get their grimy little claws on. So they're also found much more widespread than the Purlovias, as well as the other creatures that do that stun to you. So they're also found on the Island, the Center, Scorched Earth, Ragnarok, Extinction, Valgyro, Genesis Part 1, Crystal Isles, and Genesis Part 2. And they're not found in one specific biome. They are found all over. The fields, the highlands, the bloody redwoods, everywhere. These little guys are a menace to society and a menace to Ark players, and they should just definitely be avoided. However, they can be tamed and used for PvP. They are a little bit finicky when it comes to use in PvP, but you can use them to knock your opponents off their mounts. So guys, let's move on to number 2. Now guys, coming in at number 2, we have the Troodons. Now, these guys are absolutely terrifying, and they're extremely strong. Scattered around in packs and hunting herds, these guys receive a pack buff from being near each other, as well as that their attacks deal insane amounts of torpor. Now we're going to deactivate creative mode here, and you guys will see just how quick our torpor meter fills up from a couple of bites from these guys. Now the issue isn't that they do a lot of damage, the issue is that they knock you out extremely quickly. And then once they knock you out, they kind of just circle around you, and their hitboxes are really weird. You can see here we're getting a little bit more lucky this time because they've got a pack of dillos around us, but we are essentially incapacitated for a lot longer than 10 seconds because they will constantly munch on us, keeping our torpor extremely high. And like I mentioned, they will be found in packs everywhere. They are not restricted once again to one specific biome of a map. You can see here our torpor bar is absolutely bloody astronomical right now. and we cannot do anything about it because we are already knocked out. And slowly but surely, they will go ahead, break our armor, and kill us. Now, let's just... Okay, too late, we're dead. Never mind. Now, these guys are found on pretty much every map once again. They found on the Island, the Center, Scorched Earth, Ragnarok, Extinction, Valgyro, Crystal Isles, and Genesis Part 2. And like I mentioned, they are found in packs and they will hunt you down to the ends of the earth. Now, during the day, they will not actively seek you out. They will attack you if you do decide to get a little bit too close to them. However, at nighttime is when they go full-on ferocious mode and will hunt you down and kill all your offspring as well as yourself. So you definitely want to try and avoid those guys during the nighttime. However, they are extremely small and they do blend in to their surroundings. So you will need to be careful in that regard. But guys, let's move on to the final spot at number 1. Alrighty guys, now coming in at number 1 is the piranhas. Now, I swear to God, I did not spawn any of these in. These guys, in my opinion, are the deadliest creature in the entirety of Ark. You will come across piranhas in every bloody waterway that you swim through, whether it be on a tame, by yourself. The early game, these are a nightmare to deal with because they just deal so much damn damage. They are ridiculously strong. We're going to just turn off creative mode here so you can... I was trying to turn on infinite stats, but that didn't happen. These guys are ridiculously strong. And the best part is that they're found on every single bloody map except for Scorched Earth. So you'll find these guys on the Island, the Center, Ragnarok, Aberration, Extinction, Valgyro, Genesis Part 1, Crystal Isles, Genesis Part 2, and obviously Aberration, I said Aberration. And you can see here that the damage that they are dealing is ridiculous. Whenever you want to go in the water for a quick swim, get some, okay, here's a baryonyx, get some water, you know, try and get some saber-toothed salmon or anything like that. Look how quick they just destroyed that poor baryonyx. These guys are hands down, in my opinion, the deadliest creature in all of Ark because they're just found in every single aspect of what you need to do. If you need to get some fish meat, piranhas. You need to cross a stream, piranhas. You need to do anything involving water, guess what? Piranhas. And they're just so many numbers. Don't get me started on trying to tame up the bloody shadow mains over on Genesis Part 2 with the amount of mega piranhas located in the freaking water over there. It's ridiculous. So guys, let me know what your deadliest creature in all of Ark is. For me, it is definitely the mega piranhas. Well, I think they're just called piranhas now. They are ridiculously strong and they just deal so much damage and they're found everywhere. But nonetheless, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video today. Let me know what some other picks would be for your top 10. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching and I will catch you in the next one.